You've probably heard the phrase sanctity of life tossed around in the political world, but have you ever thought about what it really means? What is sanctity of life? Let's break down the definition of those words. First of all, sanctity means to be holy or sacred. Breaking that down further, sacred means to be set apart for the service or worship of a deity. If something is sacred or holy, it's entitled to reverence and respect. So in other words, what about life do we consider to be set apart with respect for the service or worship of God? We'll spend most of this week talking about sanctity of life from a biblical standpoint. But before we begin, let's take a moment to consider a secular viewpoint on this issue. Is there anything about life that is viewed as sacred from that point of view? I would venture to say that most people answer that question based on the quality of life. The value of life for a newborn who is healthy is perceived differently versus the value of life for a newborn with a debilitating health condition. In similar fashion, as we age and our quality of life declines, many people consider someone with late stages Alzheimer's or other dementia-related disease to have a life of less value, perhaps even to the extreme of having no value. To society, that sounds reasonable, doesn't it? But is it God's plan? We'll consider that more this week too. This is another hot topic week, so I ask you to set aside your preconceived beliefs, which we all have, including me, and really ask God to open your eyes to His viewpoint on the sanctity of life. You may confirm what you already believed, or you may find a belief you hold challenged as a result of this study. As is true with all videos in the His House Bible Study, it's not about what I say that matters. It's about what God says. Open your mind and your heart this week to hear from Him. In addition, this may stir up some past choices you've made that you'd rather not reflect on. Please know that this week's lesson isn't about guilt or shame or condemnation. It's about celebrating God-given life and understanding the value of that life from His perspective, regardless of man's perspective. Are you ready to dive in? Go ahead then and download the homework for this week and get started.